Welcome to sportsbookreview.com. I'm Flash, and it's the Premier League show. What a weekend we had. Man City, they were absolutely on fire. Man United, well, they continued to go from strength to strength, but Liverpool dropped points at home. Now I'm going to have big man on campus, which is Jeff Nadu, and Martin Green to go through this week's card. But first of all, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button and ring the bell. You ring the bell means we can notify you. You'll never miss any content again. And also, if you press the link in the description, that will take you over to Martin, Alex, or Dave's articles on all of our sports pages. And there's other writers over there on other sports, so there'll be plenty there to entertain you. Remember, you're our third guest in the chat because we are live. And listen, we had some great tips last week. The biggest one was Barca man coming in at plus 650. Fernandes to score and have an assist at plus 650. Well done, Barca man. Harry Doherty, you've got to be coming up with something because you've not come up with anything for a couple of weeks. And Don07, the big Tottenham fan, why don't you just give Martin a bit of your love today? Because I fancy, as an Arsenal fan, he's feeling a little bit down. I'm going to come to you first, big man. Funny old weekend in the Premier League.
Yeah, it has been, Flash. I wasn't on your weekend show, but yeah, Leicester continues to unravel at the seams. I mean, that 3 or 4 minute run where, Schmeichel hits the ball off, I believe it was Gray or whoever it was, and then, the horrible red card. I mean, Leicester just continues to just, I don't know what's going on with them. Man United breathing down their neck. I've been really surprised at how poor they've been really out of the restart. Really since January, they've been horrific. Brendan Rodgers should get some stick. I mean, why did Iheanacho come out of the game? I mean, he just kind of conceded, I felt like, at that point. Thought he had won the game.
Martin, a lot of the teams sitting deep now and saying to Vardy, go on then, try and beat us, because the only way that you really beat us is if we have a high line and you have a ball over the top or down the sides. We've got to mention Arsenal, Tottenham, Mark. What do you think?
Well, as I was on both teams to score, from a betting perspective, I could sit back and relax after 18 minutes of the game. Just the usual classic performance from Arsenal, really. Excellent going forwards, missed a bunch of chances, and then just horrific at the back. Stupid schoolboy errors that, they need a new back three if they're going to challenge for a top 4 place next season. Right now, it looks like they could be finishing in mid-table, and yeah, things are looking pretty grim. Still don't really think it's Arteta's fault too much. He's just got very bad personnel at his disposal. Need a big investment, or at least a big clear out in the summer. Tottenham were dreadful. Didn't really play well, but well done to them for getting the win. Yeah,
Mourinho all over. Nothing for 75, 80 minutes. I mean, they were very fortunate to get the goal that drew them level, and then they get a set piece and they come away with 3 points. And I suppose with Mourinho, it's all about the 3 points. So let's crack straight on here, because we've got big man. I'm coming to you first. It's Chelsea minus 550, the draw plus 690, and Norwich, we say bye-bye to them every week at plus 1800.
Yeah, I mean, this is a tough one. I mean, I try to find value here. I thought I kind of settled on Chelsea and under 3.5, but I got burned last time I took that against Crystal Palace, a group that, I mean, really outside of Norwich, there's been no one worse going forward in this league than Palace. They were able to put 2 by Chelsea. So it just seems like whenever you start to believe in Chelsea's defense and that they can keep goals out, then they come out and give up 5 over 2 games. And I don't think Norwich will score here. They only scored twice, guys, over the last 12 games. You think about that. 12 games, they scored 2 goals. I'm just heinous. I mean, I feel like I could score 2 goals in 12 games against any side. It's amazing. Yeah, I can't take Chelsea, though. The only value was under 3.5 in Chelsea, and I get some weird feeling this is 3-1. So I'm just going to pass. I have a lot of other tips I like. I just don't trust Chelsea enough to keep a clean sheet or at least keep a goal out. Just can't do it.
Yeah, the big one with Chelsea is if someone gets up against them and rattles them. Now, they went to West Ham, London derby, West Ham, big and physical. Then they go to Sheffield United, big, physical, organised, teaches them a lesson. And listen, we did mention on the show last week, and obviously we went with the Sheffield United double chance, but even at Palace when they won 3-2, they were cruising, but the width of the post stopped that game from being 3-3. So for me, I mean, I think this is a mismatch. I think this is a, what do we call them?
Well, it is, but
Flat track bullies.
It is a
big man.
mismatch.
Yeah, flat track bullies. I don't think they're going to be matched up physically. The movement will be too much. I like Chelsea minus 1.5, Martin.
Yeah, there's not a great deal of value there. I think the only way I can find value on this game is going Chelsea win to nil. Again, yeah, I don't think that Chelsea got an elite defence. Not really convinced by Frank Lampard anymore as a manager. I think that could be their undoing as they try to bid for the title next season. But yeah, I just think Norwich look very poor going forwards at the moment. Timu Pukki can't find the back of the net. There's something wrong with him. Todd Cantwell, he wasn't even playing in their last game. They got battered 4-0 by West Ham. It's not looking good. They're going down with a whimper. I think they've just sort of thrown in the towel this season. So I'm tempted to go for Chelsea win to nil at 1.83. Otherwise, I can't really find the value on this game.
OK then, boys, pin your ears back because Barca man, who's absolutely on fire, says, what about Chelsea to win both halves at plus 102? I think yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Do you like that, Martin?
Yeah, I don't see why not. I think they should come flying out of the blocks. He will have read them the riot act after that defeat against Sheffield United. And then, they've got enough good substitutes to come on strong again in the second half. So, yeah, that looks like a decent price.
It does.
Not a bet I typically go for, but yeah, quite like it.
Yeah, we'll start spreading your horizons. Listen, you never, old dog and new tricks and all that, Martin. Do you know what I mean? You've got to learn sometimes. And when someone comes up with it, you've got to give them a little bit of credit. Now,
it's just not one I like because if a team gets really up ahead in the first half, they can take a foot off the brake and just sit back, which is why I don't really go for it.
No, I get that, but the problem you've got, or the good thing you've got in this case is it's Norwich. And you can just rag them around because they've got no physical presence whatsoever. And the good thing about Chelsea, they do keep going forward. They've got obviously great attackers. I mean, listen, they're front six, front seven. They're going to score goals most weeks, so especially at home. So, I mean, I quite like that. Barca to win, from Barca man, Chelsea to win both halves at plus 102. So the chat is already off and running. Come to you, Martin. Burnley plus 320, draw 230, and Wolves at plus 110. Can't have Wolves away from home at the minute, Martin.
Nah, huge price going on Burnley for me right now. I don't really understand it. They are unbeaten in several games. The pressure's off for them, but they're flying. They drew with Liverpool, beat West Ham, they held Sheffield United, they beat Palace, they beat Watford. Wolves have been a lot less consistent in recent weeks. We saw them lose to Sheffield United. We saw them lose to Arsenal. Couldn't even get on the score sheet against Arsenal. So, yeah, I'm not really convinced by them in this game. I think Burnley have got a very good chance of getting a result out of this one, especially at Turf Moor. Even without the fans behind them, they've been very, very solid in recent weeks. I'm looking at Burnley draw no bet, and I've got odds of 3.45 on that.
Plus 245 for Burnley, draw no bet, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm just going to go a little deeper. I'm going to go Burnley draw double chance. I mean, I'll continue to carry the water for Burnley. I mean, this side for a long time has been very tough, very hard-nosed. We know how good they are at Turf Moor. Look, guys, 12-game sample. They've lost one time in those 12 games. They just grind results out. The only loss was to Man City during that time, and there's no shame in that. This team just gets results. Burnley draw double chance, 1.9. I like it a lot. And we all know Wolves, big draw team. Yeah. They draw a lot. So I think this is probably 1-1. So I'll take the draw double chance of Burnley here.
Okay, Barca says Burnley double chance is 1.96, which is like minus 105. Ryan Hong says, yo, Flash, read this. What am I reading, Ryan? Just, hello? Okay, yeah, I mean, Burnley just so, they're just not given the credit. I mean, they're so organised, they're so dour, and yet we still continue to get great prices about them. I think that your double chance bet, Jeff, is right on the money. I mean, why would you not go for the home side against a side who's struggling away from home, struggling to score goals, and they only won at the weekend because they played against another side, Everton, who can't win or score away from home. So, yeah, I like that. 1.96, minus 105. We like that Burnley double chance. Now, try and find the value here, Jeff. Man City minus 650, draw plus 850, and Bournemouth plus 2100. Man City, I went with -2 at the weekend, and I was never in a moment's doubt. I think I'll go -2 again.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, I mean, win to nil is quite a decent price also. I mean, look, I think we have to realize the Bournemouth match the other day against Leicester City. I mean, a lot of those goals were real freakish type goals. I mean, particularly two of them. I mean, Christian Fuchs just stands there, just knocks off him, and the Schmeichel goal. I know Bournemouth won, but I don't give that much credit to them. I think Leicester really just kind of metastasized and went nuts and just had a bad 4 or 5 minutes. I'm going to go Man City win to nil here. I have to get the price here. Someone could retrieve it. I didn't end up writing it down, but we know Bournemouth concedes. You look at the last, 5+ goal wins by City, 3 out of the last 5 games. I mean, they've just been on fire. They win, and they win comfortably. I don't think Bournemouth can score in this game. City's defenses look better.
Yeah, and just to let you put a bit more meat on the bone, when they got beat 1-0 at Southampton probably had 1 or 2 shots in the whole 90 minutes, and on any other given day, Man City wins 6-1.
Right.
The keeper, Alex McCarthy, had an 11 out of 10 day. He was like absolute. It was unbelievable. Like having 4 touchdowns as a wide receiver. He was just phenomenal. MVP, and he'll live off the back of that for the rest of his life. Man City, Bournemouth, Martin, give me some value, please.
I'm taking a different tack actually on this game. I'm going for 2 bets. I'm just trying to load it up here. Alex Classic, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals at 2.1. And I've got Man City to win and both teams to score at 2.4. Just feel like Bournemouth actually could get on the score sheet in this one for me. They obviously just put 4 past Kasper Schmeichel, and they drew with Tottenham. I think they're going to go into this game with the wind in their sails a little bit. Still fancy Man City to get the job done and beat them, which will be real hammer blow for their hopes of survival. But I think they can cause a few problems for Man City. I think Man City will be in celebratory mode after the ruling that we heard today that their 2-year European ban is going to be overturned. I think they'll put on a good show going forward, but I'm never really overly convinced by their defence, especially against a team like Bournemouth that really do like to take risks and pour men forward. I think this could be a pretty open, high-scoring game.
Yeah, high-scoring. Not for me. I see him winning. Not for me. I'm not seeing Bournemouth on the score sheet here. Go on, Jeff.
Yeah, I have to ask. I mean, I guess my whole thing with Bournemouth, you're not concerned, Martin, with like just the freakish goals that they scored. I mean, they were most of them were kind of, one was a penalty, I believe. It was just kind of a lot of randomness with what happened and everything. And you look at City, 5-0, 4-0, 2-0, 5-0, 5-0. I mean, they've actually looked quite good defensively recently outside of, 1 or 2 matches. Chelsea wasn't great, but that's Chelsea. Outside of that, they've looked, I think, pretty damn good defensively.
Yeah, we've got plenty good bets in here. Luffy says City team total over 2.5. I fancy that'll be low. We've got Man City to win both halves and over 3.5. And also they're asking about the Champions League. Champions League and show and the format on the show will be tomorrow morning, so look out for anything like that. I like Man City -2.5. I see this is minimum 3-0, and if you want to just jump in without the win to nil, then you go with a 4-1. I see Man City in over 3.5 or over 4.5. I think it's Man City all the way. Newcastle +380, draw +280, Spurs -120. Martin, I don't see Newcastle getting beat.
No, it's difficult with Tottenham right now because obviously they beat Arsenal. You can't argue with that. But the performance was dreadful. They barely saw the ball. Kane looked off the pace. But then again, Newcastle obviously have just conceded 7 goals in their last 2 games. been a complete transformation in the way they play. Before the lockdown, it was 5 at the back, 2 holding midfielders, very conservative. Since then, it's like they're trying to impress everyone and trying to entertain. And St. Maximin gets on the ball. They look okay going forwards. I just see both teams scoring in this one. I can't see either of them keeping a clean sheet. Pretty simple for me. Yeah, both teams to score 1.86.
Seems like a massive price, that. We must have one of Big Man's family in here saying, check the toasty. Legend up here with Big Man on campus. A family member, Jeff?
No, that guy's been in. He's a fan of mine for a while. I've never really talked to him, but he always comes into your chats and says that. But I believe he is from Newcastle, so I'm sure he'll have some options here. But yeah, I hate to pass, but I'm going to. This is one I just kind of moved on. I never get Tottenham right. Can't seem to figure this group out for the life of me. So this is one that I had kind of just a line through. I'm going to pass here.
Okay, I like Newcastle not to get beat. So Newcastle double chance or Newcastle plus 0.5 at plus 100. It's great that we've got over 100 of you watching us live, but not so good. There's only 26 thumbs up for Jeff and Martin who produce. And remember, give yourselves a little thumbs up because you are part of this show. Now let's move on then. Everton minus 115. I can't have Everton. Draw plus 310. And Villa at plus 350. Got away with absolutely murder against Palace, Jeff. And then they take the 3 points. They never looked the gift horse in the mouth. And now they're giving themselves a fighting chance to survive.
Yeah, I mean, really every game for Aston Villa at this point is a must-win, as we know. And, Everton is a side that – I mean, with Villa having to go forward, I think they're willing and able to score here. I think that's something they'll get on the score sheet. I think Everton will find a way. I mean, Villa's one of the worst defenses in this league. I mean, in fact, I think outside of Norwich, they are the worst defense. They just concede. They should have conceded the other night with the own goal with Zaha. It could have worked either way there. I'll go both teams to score 1.7. It's not a great price, but I think this is at worst 1-1. Villa has to go forward and score goals.
Yeah, I was along like the same lines and thinking the only way you'd probably go here is basically both teams to score and over the Alex Classic, because you're thinking that Villa have got to go for 90 minutes. They could be 2-0 down, they'll get a consolation, or they go for the winner because 1-1's no good, Martin.
Yeah, it's just looking like a pretty limp end to the season for Everton. I don't see what they've got nothing really to play for. I thought they could probably secure a top half finish and just end the season strong after Carlo Ancelotti had a bit of time to plot a resurgence there, but it hasn't really happened. The results have been poor. I just think motivation's going to play a real issue in this one. Aston Villa have finally discovered a bit of fight, big win. They'll be full of momentum as they go into this game. I can't really see them losing it either. I think the way to go for me on this one is Aston Villa draw double chance at 1.83, covering both options there. And I can just really see them getting something for this.
Yeah, I think you've got to look at it. Obviously, Big Man's gone for both teams to score 1.7. But you look at Aston Villa at plus 350. If this game was in November or December, they'd be plus 650. So you've got to say that you've got to take into the desperation, the need, and then you put that against Everton, absolutely struggling. Now, don't get me wrong, Everton could go and roll them over 3-1. I think the Alex Classic and the both teams to score is safe. I think both teams are gonna score on this. Go on, Jeff.
I will say this: if Everton don't score here, I'm done with them forever, because I have bet so many games with this group and they screw me every time. If they don't score here, I don't really know what to say. I mean, there's really no excuse as to why they can't score against Villa, but I think Martin's play might be actually better. I never like betting on bad teams, but yeah, if Everton don't score, I'm done with them forever.
No, I think both teams to score in the Alex Classic is the way to go. And obviously with Villa, double chance, you know that they're going to keep going. But I can't have Villa. I've got them going down. So the last thing I want is them picking up a point or 3, even though I will have to pat Martin on the back if that happens. Now, this is a mismatch. Get on. You know we're live. And because we're live, get on after these next 3 minutes, because Leicester minus 160, draw plus 310, and Sheffield United at plus 550. Big man, can you explain to me why Sheffield United at plus 550? I told everyone last week that Sheffield United would do a job on Chelsea, and they did. I don't get it right often, but when I do, I've got to let you know about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the amazement of different books. I mean, you look at over here, FanDuel has Sheffield United at plus 310. So if you're getting plus 550 on Sheffield United, I would bet that. And I would bet that for me as well. I can't answer that question as to why they're such a big underdog here. My only guess would be they're trying to go punters into taking Sheffield, and Leicester kind of picks their bootstraps up and stops being embarrassing. But I don't see Pereira or Chilwell coming back. The defense is still a concern. I mean, they were abysmal in the second half against Bournemouth, and that was just laughable. And a lot of it has to do with coaching. It was frustration. It was annoyance. It seemed like they were just tired of things. Defense for Sheffield continues to be very solid. They've been one of the great surprises this year. Yeah, I don't understand why they're such a big price either. I'll take the bait, and if it loses, it loses. I'll take Sheffield to win.
Yeah, I think
I
the big
can't bet
problem,
Leicester.
big problem I've got here with Leicester is Ndidi and Mendy sitting in the middle of the park. They don't create anything. They don't pass the ball forward quick enough, and Leicester's all about getting the ball forward. And the thing is, you say about defending at Sheffield United, they defend from the front. They press and they all move. They are all on a bit of string. There's no weak links in that chain, Martin.
Yeah, very impressive from Sheffield United. They could be even higher if they didn't have that goal disallowed when it should really have been allowed to stand upon the restart when they faced Aston Villa. Yeah, congratulations to them. It's been a great, great season from Sheffield United. I also fancy them to get a result in this game. They're only 5 points behind Leicester now, which is astonishing when you think how much of a lead that Leicester did have at one point. But things just really seem to be unravelling for them badly. They would have lost against Arsenal if Nketiah hadn't been sent off. They lost to Everton. They lost to Chelsea. Yeah, I think injuries have taken their toll. Like you say, they've lost that creativity in the midfield with just Ndidi and Mendy. That's pretty uninspiring. Obviously, like you said earlier, Leicester are playing against teams that are sitting back and defending deep, not allowing Jamie Vardy to run in behind them. And they've got real bad defensive problems as well with all the injuries. Soyuncu's going to be suspended, I guess, for this game, so that causes them another problem. I just think, yeah, the odds on Sheffield United are too good to ignore, really. I placed a bet on it earlier, and I got odds of 3.0, which is 2-1, or plus 200 on Sheffield United draw no bet, which looks very attractive to me.
Double chance, yeah?
Draw no bet.
You've gone draw no bet. Okay, but I'm going to go Sheffield double chance. And also I would say the unders in this game. I think that Sheffield United will squeeze the life out of them and just maybe a 1-0. I think that, listen, they could win 2-0, but I think this is definitely unders. I wouldn't be surprised with half-time draw as well. If you could have a little look for the double chance for me, Martin, when I move on to the next game, I'll go to Jeff first. But Sheffield United double chance is what I'm looking for, not draw no bet, because I think it could well be a draw. Okay, Jeff, Crystal Palace plus 900, draw plus 360, Man United minus 242. Are Man United now starting to move into that? I mean, they go third if they win tonight. But do you think they're starting to get to that realms where you're looking to oppose them on the prices?
No, not really. Until they fall off the horse, I'm not going to be betting against them. And in fact, I'm grabbing them here, win to nil. As we discussed earlier, Crystal Palace offer very little going forward. I mean, outside of Norwich, they've been the worst offensive side in this league. And you look at just the control and the dominance United has. I mean, they've won 4 games over the last 5 by 3 or more goals. And in most of them, they're not conceding in them. I mean, the ineptness of Palace, 4 games with no goals over their last 5. The only one was that Chelsea game where they scored 2. This side just doesn't score goals. They offer very little going forward. And yeah, I mean, until United bust me, I'm going to still play them. I can get even money on win to nil here. Job done, 2-0. United win.
Okay, Martin, what have you got on Sheffield United double chance?
1.87.
1.87. Okay, so that's minus, say, 120. Okay, yeah, I quite like the Alex Classic here for some reason because I just don't like this Man United defence. And you say, and obviously I contradict myself because they've kept so many clean sheets. But
no, you just hate you just hate Harry Maguire.
I
And
do. I do. And
you're getting ahead
Lindelof
of yourself
and
here.
Bailly and Shaw. But Wan-Bissaka, he is the real deal. I'll give him that. No problem at all. Martin, Palace score in this game.
No.
Perhaps, but I fancy Man United to win this one pretty comfortably. I've been hugely impressed with the way they've played since the restart. Bruno Fernandes has just picked up where he left off. He's been on fire. That's bringing the best out of Paul Pogba. Going forwards, they just look fantastic to me. Competition for places in that front three. Martial's banging them in. Mason Greenwood looks like a phenomenal talent. And Marcus Rashford, we all know he's a devastating striker on his day. Against the Crystal Palace team that have just, what is going on with them? They've lost 5 on the bounce. They haven't scored that well. The only team they scored against in that time was Chelsea. They're shipping goals for fun. You're currently looking at the most in-form attack versus the most out-of-kilter defence in the league. So I'm going to go for Man United minus 1.5 Asian handicap at 2.05.
2.05 minus 1.5 on the Asian handicap. And just to give a little bit of a heads up, I believe Man United are plus 300 for the Europa League. Now, if you feel as if they're going to go from strength to strength, then they've got every chance. So Southampton plus 225, the Mighty Saints. Draw plus 240, Brighton plus 250. This comes with a health warning because these two sides, it's throw the coin and see which way it lands. Martin?
Yeah, this is a difficult one to call. Two pretty not the most inspiring South Coast teams the way they play, but I do think Southampton have more about them going forwards. Been very impressed with Danny Ings all season long, really, and I just think it could be a draw. But of the two, I'm edging towards Southampton, which might be surprising considering Brighton have a lot more to play for, considering the results that we had at the weekend with the teams below them all winning. But the pressure's off for Southampton. They've taken 7 points from their last 3 games. It's going to be very, very difficult, I think, for Brighton to get a result in this game. I'm just going to go, what am I going to go for? Not huge odds. I'm just going to go Southampton. Draw no bet, 1.57.
Now, the one thing I would say is that Southampton have looked so confident, aggressive, they're together, they're playing with such confidence. But it's a South Coast derby, and this Brighton raised their game, they're organised. I can see maybe both teams scoring, Jeff.
Yeah, I'm going to go draw here, plus 230. This just seems 1-1 to me. You mentioned the South Coast angle. Brighton, for what it's worth, play hard. I think we still have to remember Southampton's not a good defensive side for the most part. This seems like Everton, Southampton all over again, 1-1. I'll take a stalemate here. I try to look for them and get some value. I think Brighton will be enamored with a draw. Okay. I'll go draw plus 230.
Just going back to the last game, Baz is pulling me up saying Flash have only conceded 32 goals. I'm telling you now, there is no confidence. And you tell me all of them sides that Man United have played, they've been absolutely woeful. And I'm not having Bailly, Maguire or Lindelof. And I'm not having Luke Shaw either. So, but listen, I'm not against Man United. I want them to do well. Always have, always will. Last game. Jeff, I'm going to come to you. West Ham at plus 140, draw plus 250, and Watford at plus 210. Watford, this is your 6-pointer.
Well, I'm not going to lie, Flash. You did miss Arsenal-Liverpool. I don't know if you skipped over that one, but I'm sure we'll get to that after this one. Huge game for both. They both ship goals. They both need to go forward and get points here. I mean, Watford hasn't kept a clean sheet, Flash, since February 29th. West Ham United's kept 1 clean sheet, and it was Norwich. Before that, they hadn't kept a clean sheet since New Year's Day. These teams don't keep goals out. Why is both teams to score so low, so short? What's going on here? What am I missing? Both these teams have to win. You have to go forward. Why is both teams to score only minus 130, minus 125? What's the story there?
I don't know. I mean, where would you be confident with any selection with this game? Because I think that all three are. I think the draw's live. I think both teams to scores live. What way would you go?
I'm going both teams to score. I don't know why this price is what it is.
Okay, what price was that?
Minus 130.
minus 130. Martin, what have you got?
Yeah, I'm also going both teams to score. I got 1.77 on it, which I think, yeah, that sounds about right. That sounds about minus 130. Yeah, two very attacking teams. Both need to win, both fighting for their lives at the bottom of the table. Should be a cracking game. Watford have been pretty good. Their resurgence in recent weeks. Sarr, when he plays, he's got the pace to really stretch this West Ham defence, and the Hammers are going to be going to it full of confidence with Michail Antonio on fire and a pretty decent supporting cast for him. But both teams struggle badly at the back, so yeah, both teams to score for me as well.
Okay, well, I saved the best for last, as you said, Jeff. There's no graphic for this one because we've had some gremlins, but we've got Arsenal at plus 275, draw plus 280, and Liverpool at minus 120. Martin, the Arsenal fan, this is a humdinger because what Liverpool's turning up?
Yeah, it's a difficult one for me, just because of the way that Liverpool have been playing recently. They do seem to have taken a foot off the pedal a bit since they wrapped up the title. If they do win their remaining games, they could still get that Premier League points record. I do fancy them to beat Arsenal. Arsenal are woeful at the back. We just saw them in abysmal form against Tottenham. It is difficult because Liverpool haven't been playing with the same sort of intensity and consistency that we saw before the break. But, if you put the 2-11 men against one another, Liverpool are by far the better team. So at the odds you can get on Liverpool, I think you have to really take a punt on it. I've got 1.95 on Liverpool, which looks good. Wow. And I also just like the both teams to score an over 2.5 goals at 1.91. I do fancy Arsenal to get on the score sheet because Liverpool have been conceding a lot and Arsenal have got dangerous forwards. But I feel like Arsenal probably concede at least 2 in this game.
Yeah, there's a lot going on with these markets because they were at minus 120, which is like 1.85. You're saying you've just picked up 1.95. That tells me that maybe some news has leaked that he's going to continue playing them young ones who need the appearances to get their Champions winners medals. Jeff, where do you find the value here? And I mean, both Alex Classic looks nailed on.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite plays of the week, to be honest. You look at the last 9 between these groups. 49 goals in 9 games. That's like over 5 goals a game. I mean, these teams just, when they play each other, there's so much attacking quality. They both go forward. As Martin says, I mean, Liverpool has shown some cracks, and at home Arsenal play a lot better, but they still have the defensive concerns at the back. I think this is a cracking bet. Both teams to score over 2.5. I think it's a 2-2, 3-2 type of match. These matches are generally fun between these groups.
What price have you got for the Alex Classic?
5 to 6.
So minus 120. Okay, well, Barca's come out with an absolute peach again, and he's saying that Arsenal, Liverpool, both teams to score in both halves, and that's 1,050 plus 1,050 or 10.5 to 1. So I mean, that's massive.
I will say, if I could just interject, I don't tell anyone how to bet, but I feel like those are bets you make when you have hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I don't know if maybe Barca Man does.
No.
I guess I just don't go that deep into the betting. I'm just a little more kind of
bread and
quick
butter.
And easy with my bets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin, give me your rundown, please, and obviously your recommendation for the 6-match parlay. We picked 2 earlier in Serie A. We'll pick 2 today from the Premier League, and tomorrow we'll get 2 from La Liga. And this weekend, last week we went 6-0. This weekend we went 4-2 with Arsenal draw no bet, letting us down. Martin, give us your selections, please.
Okay, I'm going to go for Chelsea win to 0 at 1.83 against Norwich. Burnley draw no bet at 3.45 against Wolves, but go for double chance if you want better chance of winning that bet. Both teams to score an over 2.5 goals at Man City versus Bournemouth at 2.1. Man City to beat Bournemouth and both teams to score at 2.4. Again, both teams to score in that Newcastle v Tottenham game at 1.86, hoping for a high-scoring weekend at this rate. Liverpool, 1.95 against Arsenal. Both teams to score an over 2.5 goals in that game as well at 1.91. Aston Villa draw double chance against Everton at 1.83. I was going to go Sheffield United draw no bet against Leicester at 3.0, but I'm also liking your double chance bet there at 1.87. Feels a bit more realistic. Man United minus 1.5 Asian handicap at 2.05 against Crystal Palace. Southampton draw no bet at 1.57 against Brighton, and both teams to score in the West Ham versus Watford game at 1.77.
Okay, before I go to Jeff, I like them, by the way, Martin. Have you got a banker?
For me, it has to be Man United beating Crystal Palace. I just can't see Palace getting anywhere near them.
Okay, and just before I go to Jeff, Debbie Yan says, Flash, can you give me the 2 picks from Serie A? Maybe we'll pick them up after seeing the whole show. Well, watch the whole show, and then the last 2, then that's when I mentioned them, all right? Jeff?
Yeah, you got to go support my man. All right. City win to 0, even money. Burnley double chance, 1.9. Arsenal, Liverpool, both teams scoring over 2.5. Everton, Villa, both teams to score. Sheffield United plus 310 against Leicester. Southampton, Brighton draw plus 230. Manchester United went to 0, even money. And both teams to score, Watford, West Ham. And the banker for that is Watford, West Ham, both teams to score. I do not understand that price at all.
Okay, now I'm just going to flick down mine, and I'm just liking Chelsea to win both halves. I like Chelsea minus 1.5 as well. Burnley double chance for me. Man City minus 2.5 Asian handicap, or minus 2 on the European. Newcastle double chance I like. Everton Villa, I'm just cheering the boys on, to be honest. Sheffield United double chance 1.87. Palace and Man United, I'm cheering the boys on there. Southampton Brighton, I'm leaving. West Ham Watford, I agree, both teams to score. And I'm going to put in, so the 6-match parlay for anyone that's watching. We've done the 2 from La Liga, from Serie A. The 2 from the Premier League are going to be Sheffield United double chance at 1.87, which is around minus 120. And Man City minus 2.5 on the Asian handicap, or minus 2 on the European. Now, if you like this video, then please subscribe, press the button, ring the bell, and we can notify you, and you'll never miss any content again. Remember to give your thumbs up for the boys, a bit of appreciation. 110 watching, 54 thumbs up. That's only a 50% strike rate on the likes. Also press the link in the description. Go across, have a good read. There's from Martin, there's from Alex, there's from Dave, all on our soccer pages. And you'll also see other writers on other sports. So they might catch your eye, and you might know something that you never knew you'd want to hear. Jeff, thanks for changing your arrangements and being on here, always a massive plus. Martin, good luck, and I hope that you're not thinking about Arsenal getting beat yesterday too much longer.
Thanks for reminding me again, Flash.
No problem at all. That's what friends are for. Everyone in the chat, I hope you've had a great day today. Make sure you get on that Sheffield United double chance live-o before the... I don't fancy it'll be there for too much longer. We'll see you all again soon. I think we're going to see you on Thursday. Live, Premier League punters. You take care.